Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Theruvan Saranai. Today we are going to talk about correlating the 8 lobha citta, consciousness rooted in greed, with the dasa akusala kammapatha, unwholesome courses of action. First, we will look at the 10 unwholesome courses of action, the dasa akusala kammapatha. Now, as you would remember, we spoke about kamma, and when it comes to kamma, kamma occurs through the 3 doors of action, which are the body door, the verbal door, or the mind door. So through these doors, kamma is generated, either good or bad kamma. The kaya kamma, bodily action, there are 3 akusala kammapatha related to the kaya kamma. These are pānātipato, killing, adinādāna, stealing, and kāmesu micchāchāro, sexual misconduct. The 4 vachi kamma, verbal action, are musāvādo, false speech, pisuna vacha, slandering, parusa vacha, harsh speech, and sampappalapo, frivolous talk. And finally, the mental actions, the manokamma, are abhijja, covetousness, which is the wish to acquire another person's property, vyapado, ill will, that is the wish that another being meets with some sort of harm or affliction, and miccha ditti, wrong view. Now, it is important to know the difference between the words kamma, volitional activity, and the word kammapatha, courses of action. Now, the first 7 out of the 10 kammapatha, those are the 3 kaya kamma and the 4 vachi kamma. These first 7 courses are identified with the volition or the cetana, which initiates an effort to accomplish a certain action. Now, this cetana or this initial volition is an unwholesome kamma, regardless of whether or not the action is completed. Now, for instance, if I give you an example, let's say there is a mosquito and I develop the volition or the cetana to kill it. So I lift up my hand and I slap it. However, the mosquito gets away and I am unable to kill the mosquito. But that initial cetana, the initial volition was to kill. Therefore, I generated an unwholesome kamma. However, because I could not complete the task, that particular kamma does not reach its full potential because the act of killing was not fulfilled. Therefore, we say that it did not become a full course of action, or it did not become a kammapatha. So, if I was successful in killing this mosquito, then it would be a kamma that has reached the stage of completion. So the death of that intended victim needs to be completed in order to say that pānātipato or that kamma has become a kammapatha. So the characteristic of a kammapatha or a full course of action is being a kamma with the potency to take on the rebirth generating role. Now that is the difference between kamma and kammapatha. A kamma, when it reaches its full potential, it becomes a kammapatha. Thereby it becomes a very potent type of kamma which has the ability to take on the role of a rebirth generating kamma. Now we will correlate the akusala kammapatha with the lobha citta. Now how do we correlate the akusala kamma with the lobha citta? So basically out of the 10 akusala kammapatha, 7 of them can occur as a result of lobha citta. Now that is where it becomes important to understand. So the different instances when lobha citta occur and how they can give rise to subhuman realm rebirths. Now let's look at the 7 akusala kammapatha that can occur as a result of lobha citta. Out of the 3 kaya kamma, the bodily action, 2 of them, adinadana, stealing, and kamesu michacharo, sexual misconduct, occur as a result of lobha citta. And then out of the 4 verbal actions, the vachi kamma, 3 of them, which are musavado, false speech, pisuna vacha, slandering, and sampappalapo, frivolous talk. And 2 out of the 3 manokamma, mental actions. These are abhijja, covetousness, where the individual has a wish to acquire the property of another person, and michaditti, wrong view. So are these the only instances when lobha citta occur? No. Now here we are going to talk about the different instances where lobha citta occur and gives rise to unwholesome kamma. But remember, these are only kamma and they're not kammapatha, which means they are of lesser potency and they don't have the potential of giving rise to a rebirth. So it doesn't take on the rebirth generating role. Now let's look at a few examples. Taking intoxicants, alcohol, drugs, gambling, giving and taking bribes, different forms of entertainment, regardless of what it is, whether it's singing, dancing, playing musical instruments, sports, regardless of whether one is the performer or whether one is being entertained. So all forms of entertainment in general occur as a result of lobha citta. Leisure activities, going on trips, having various kinds of hobbies like collecting stamps or currency, engaging in various activities to earn money, and taking measures to protect one's earned fortune, consuming tasty food and beverages, beautifying oneself in beautiful clothes and other accessories, using fragrant perfumes, spending money on acquiring desired objects like clothes or houses, vehicles, etc. When loved ones see one another or interact with each other, when parents buy clothes or toys for their children, feeding and petting one's own pet animals. So these are different instances when lobha citta may occur. Now the next question is, can one perform the same activities without generating lobha citta? And the answer is yes. For instance, if one earns money with the pure intention of donating all the proceeds, then yes, there is no lobha citta involved there. If one consumes food solely for the purpose of alleviating hunger and sustaining one's life and not for the enjoyment of the taste. If one wears clothes not to beautify, not to make one look superior, but merely to protect oneself from harsh weather conditions and for modesty. If one feeds or pets an animal out of compassion. Now, all of these examples are instances when, instead of a lobha citta, a kammavachara kusala citta, a sense sphere wholesome consciousness, are generated. Now, another important aspect that we need to consider is the power that each of these different types of lobha citta has in terms of giving results. Now we spoke about 8 different types of lobha citta, and we will see which lobha citta are more powerful, which are the weaker ones. So this is an analysis of their power, their ability to give results. So first of all, we spoke about Kamma and Kammapatha. And out of the two, kammapatha are more powerful because they are the ones that have the potential of generating or taking on a rebirth generating role. Whereas kamma, they will give rise to results, but they are not that potent, and their generation of results are not fixed. When it comes to the different types of lobha citta, we know that there are ditthigata sampayutta, associated with wrong view, and ditthigata vipayutta citta, dissociated from wrong view. Out of these two, the ditthigata sampayutta, the lobha citta that are associated with wrong view, are far more powerful than the ditthigata vipayutta citta. And when it comes to whether the citta was prompted or not, the asaṅkārika citta, the unprompted consciousness, is far more powerful than the prompted consciousness. And finally, regarding the feeling or the vedana associated with the consciousness, the upekkha sahagata citta are far more powerful than the somanassa sahagata citta. So with that, we wrap up this short lesson on how to correlate the lobha citta with the kammapatha. And during our next lesson, we will be talking about the two dosa citta, hatred-rooted consciousness.